Hello everybody, welcome to another video with me, Diamond Racing, and today of course is the Las Vegas review, the first ever Las Vegas GP, and it wasn't actually that bad. It was actually a very good race in my opinion, with a lot of overtakes, battle for the win. Three drivers actually almost had to win. Leclerc got unlucky with the safety car, but the rest of the weekend wasn't good as they would have thought. So yeah. But today I'm going to do my driver rankings, give you my F1 fantasy results, my results for my Las Vegas predictions, and doing my predictions for the last race of the year, which is going to be Yas Marina. So yeah, let's not wait any longer and just let's get into the top 20 drivers ranking. Last place is going to be Yuki Tsunoda. Yuki Tsunoda had an awful weekend. He was my loser of qualifying, making a mistake on his last run, and being just off the pace of Ricciardo the whole weekend. And yeah, just didn't have a good race. And then at the end of the race, he had a problem with his car. I can't remember what the problem was, but he retired at the end of the race. But still, Yuki Tsunoda didn't have a good weekend. Probably his worst weekend this far this season, which is not good. I really hope he gets back up on the saddle for the next race. P19 is going to be Logan Sargent. Now, Logan Sargent was actually a weird one because he actually had a very good qualifying, in my opinion. But in the race, he was the second worst, in my opinion, and just dropped like a stone. He started P7, 8. And finished, I think, last of the runners or second last of the runners, which isn't good for Logan Sargent trying to keep his place in Formula 1. But like I said, the qualifying of him was very solid. He was not far behind Albon, which is very good. P18 is going to be Zhao Guanyu. Just another quiet weekend from Zhao. I think this is a thing that happens a lot lately with him just having quiet races. Not good quiet races, just quiet races where you don't see anything of him and he doesn't do anything special like ever. Yeah, that's why he's only P18. P17 is going to be Lando Norris. Norris was my loser of the race because he crashed out. I'm not still sure if it's his own fault, but I heard something about he was unlucky getting a bump or something, but there are 20 drivers and only one of them 20 drivers made a mistake at that bump, so that's why Norris is P17. He had a decent qualifying. I used decent lightly because he was, I think, out in Q1 with Piastri. So yeah, not the best weekend for Norris in general. P16 is going to be Nico Hulkenberg. Now Hulkenberg, I thought he was going to have a good race this weekend. But he just didn't. He's qualifying, I think he was off Magnussen by a huge bit actually. And in the race, he just didn't have the pace. I know Magnussen was using a newer car, but Hulkenberg said he liked the older car more. But still, in the race, also had a mechanical failure near the end of the race. But then before that, he didn't make up much ground either way. P15 is actually a bit of a shock. It's going to be Lewis Hamilton. I just didn't have a good qualifying at all, and in the race he tried to make it up, but he only finished ahead of his teammate because his teammate made a mistake and got a penalty. But yeah, Hamilton also made a mistake. I think he was at fault for the Piastri-Hamilton incident where both of them got punctures. He didn't give Piastri much room or enough room to work with, and yeah, I think that's Hamilton's fault. I haven't seen the onboards yet, but from my initial review of the accident, I still think it's Hamilton. If I change my mind, I will let you know. But yeah, Hamilton, only P15, not a good weekend for the 7-time world champion. P14 is going to be Daniel Ricciardo, the man who was looking most forward to this race. He and his team didn't have any pace. I know he was very excited for this race. I can't believe he didn't do actually that good. He was, I think, out in Q2 by just a few tenths. And in the race, not much happened. He stayed where he started, and yeah, that's only why he's P14. Didn't do much in both, but wasn't bad in both either. So it was just an average weekend for Daniel Ricciardo, and the AlphaTauri base just disappeared from last race. P13 is going to be Alexander Albon. Now, Albon had a weird race. He like his teammate just dropped in the race, like they dropped like a stone for some reason. I'm not sure what the reason for that was, but in qualifying, both of them did really, really good. And Williams thought this is going to be the best track for them, and not any of them actually scored points. Albon dropped a lot, finishing outside the top 10, while he was starting like P5. He was starting P5. That was a very good qualifying from him. But that's why it's only P13. His teammate was quite close to him in the qualifying, but not as close in the race. But yeah, you can guess Albon can't have every single weekend a good weekend. P12 is going to be Valtteri Bottas. Like most of these drivers, they actually had a very good qualifying, Bottas in particular. But then in the race, he got hit by Alonso. Alonso, and then he broke his wing. And then from there, just couldn't do anything else. While some of the people around him did make up a few spots, I think he couldn't have done any more than he did. That's why he's P12. P11 is going to be Sergio Perez, a reinvigorated Perez, if you ask me. This is the Perez Red Bull are counting on, but still, he still has a lot to do to become the driver we know. In qualifying, still not very good. I think it was more Red Bull's fault for what happened with him, but still not a good qualifying. In the race, he really got lucky with the safety car just at the right time. And then he fought Leclerc. Leclerc made a mistake. He got passed, and still he finished behind Leclerc on the last lap, with Leclerc doing an insane move, but still Perez could have done a little bit more in my opinion, but still a very good weekend for Perez. I'm starting to see he's climbed back to the top, hopefully. P10 is going to be Kevin Magnussen. Now, Kevin Magnussen had a better weekend than, like I said, Hulkenberg. And yeah, Magnussen didn't make any huge mistakes or errors. He was actually near the points at some point, but couldn't do it. He was actually very good in the qualifying, landing in the top 10. But I think it was in the top 10. I can't remember at the moment. I think it was. And in the race itself, he dropped like most others because the drivers that were fast were behind him. So, pretty unlucky, but not a bad weekend for Magnussen. P9 is going to be Esteban Ocon. Esteban Ocon didn't have a very good qualifying. His teammate finishing P4, 5, with the penalty was P4, the science penalty. And he finished only 17 or 18. That was very bad for Ocon. In the race, he did an amazing job finishing ahead of his teammate, but there was issues from Gasly. He said he had battery issues, and just off he said that he dropped like a rock. I don't know if he would have still finished in front of the driver, in front of Ocon, but Ocon had a good drive. He was one of my top 3 best drivers of the race. P8 is going to be Lance Stroll. Stroll having another decent weekend. In qualifying, he didn't do as good, but he is the race winner in my opinion. The winner of the race, like the best driver of the race. Make it from P19 to P5. That was crazy. Very good drive from him, while his teammate did make a mistake. But overall, I think Alonso had a better weekend, but Stroll still showing he has what it takes to maybe be an F1. P7 is going to be Carlos Sainz, the man who had an unjust penalty. P2 in the qualifying, very good from him, not far behind his teammate. And then in the race, he did his best he could. I think he finished P6. I think P6, which isn't too bad from finishing, starting 12 after the penalty. But still, very good from Sainz. Not too bad. P6 is going to be Fernando Alonso. Qualifying, did a good job. beating his teammate by quite a lot. And the race, at the first he made a mistake. He slipped, gave probably too much throttle at the turn with the cold tires, but he recovered quite nicely. I think he finished P8. Very good recovery from him. So yeah, that's the only reason why he's so high, is because of his good qualifying and his good comeback. Yeah, that's all. P5 is going to be Oscar Piastri. Now, Oscar Piastri didn't have a good qualifying at all, but his race was phenomenal. He finished P10, but it was P4 for a long time before making another pit stop. And yeah, I was quite sad to see he needed to do another pit stop, but he had a very good race still. And he was also one of my top 3 of the drivers in the race. So yeah, he did a very good job, and I was very proud of him. P4 is going to be George Russell. George Russell had a very good overall weekend, except for the crash he had with Verstappen. That was totally on Russell's fault. But the qualifying was very good, finishing in the top 3, and then in the top three. And in the race itself, it was very decent. He was fighting for the podium in the beginning of the race. Then he made a mistake of hitting Verstappen, got a penalty, and they decided to serve the penalty after the race. I think that was a bad call. I thought he maybe would have finished higher if he used the penalty in the pits, maybe. P3, our first podium sitter is going to be Max Verstappen. Very good race from him, decent qualifying, actually very good qualifying, very good race. He did make a mistake in the first turn, pushing Leclerc wide, and then he broke his wing, got a penalty, and he still win the race. So, damn, that guy was quick. I don't think he would have won the race if the safety car didn't come out, which is quite sad to say. But yeah, the truth is the truth, and yeah, Verstappen is P3 on my list today. P2 with just a marginally better score than him is going to be Charles Leclerc. Charles Leclerc had a very good qualifying, and I think he was one of my favorite drivers of the race. I really thought he would have won, but yeah, like I said, the safety car ruined his race, and he still tried his best. And I think maybe if he didn't have the lockup, he could have fought Verstappen at the line. But I don't think that would have happened. But Leclerc had actually a faultless weekend, except for the lockup he had, and very good overtakes from Leclerc. Very aggressive and very fair. So yeah, very glad he is on the podium at least. And P1 is a shock to me. It's going to be Pierre Gasly. He had a very good qualifying. He was my qualifying winner. And then the race, like I said, he had a very good race, staying in that top 4-5. And then he had battery or ERS problem. I can't remember what he said in the race itself. But after that, his tires started degrading and it dropped like a stone. So I don't know what exactly happened. But still, he had a very, very good race, in my opinion. In the race itself, Ocon was a little bit better. But I still think that he had the best qualifying out of everyone. And that's probably why he's still such a high score for me. And yeah, that's all I can say about the team today. Everybody had a very cool livery, so that's cool to see. Next we go through my F1 Fantasy. I got a total of 224 points. Science gave me 68. Here's my multiple by 2. Gasly only 1, which is unfortunate for the performance he had this weekend. Piastri 39, Tsunoda 14, Alonso 12, Aston Martin 56, and McLaren 34. If Norris maybe didn't have crashed, I would have had a little bit better score maybe. And let's go to my Las Vegas predictions. As always, it doesn't go good. I suck at making predictions, and this is starting to become a thing. I only had 2 out of 9 correct. My good driver was Ocon, that's correct. My bad driver was Alonso, that's not correct. My pole was Alonso, not correct. My 4th place was Hamilton, incorrect. 4th place Sainz, incorrect. 3rd place Gasly. There was a moment where I thought he could have finished on the podium, but no, incorrect. 2nd place Norris, didn't even finish the race. And 1st place Verstappen, and that's the first time I got that right. My wild prediction is Hulkenberg can score some points, and he didn't. Yeah, he didn't. My predictions for Yash Marina, maybe this time it's going to be better. Let's see for the last prediction of the year. Let's get 9 out of 9. 9 out of 9. So let's get into it. My good drive is going to be Leclerc. My bad drive is going to be Haas. My poll is going to be definitely wrong, but I'm going for a wild one because it's the last race of the season. My poll is going to be Yuki Tsunoda. I know it's going to be wrong. My 5th place is going to be Carlos Sainz. My 4th place is going to be Leclerc. My 3rd place is going to be Hamilton. My 2nd place is going to be Verstappen. And my 1st place is going to be Norris getting his first win. And I think Ferrari will beat Mercedes in the Constructors' Championship. They're only 4 points behind. And so let's see what happens. And then my wild prediction is Yuki will outperform Ricciardo in the last race of the season. And that's that for the Las Vegas review. I'm so glad that we're almost done with the season. So if you get to the next season, it's hopefully going to be much more entertaining. After I finish the Yasmina review, a few days after that, I will post my ranking of the drivers over the whole year. And yeah, this can be an interesting one because, like you can see, sometimes I have interesting rankings. So I hope you have a great week without if. Well, there's if going to be a for next weekend. And I hope you enjoy the losses of the season. Cheers, have a great day. And like and subscribe, please.